Welcome back to Old Charles, your trusted channel for coin values, history, and collectibles from around the world. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the Australian 50-cent coin from 1981 ***. If you've got one of these coins in your collection or even lying around at home, stay tuned, because its history is long, its designs are meaningful, and its value today might surprise you. Let's begin with a little bit of history. The 50-cent coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia adopted decimal currency. The very first issue was made of 80% silver, but because the silver value quickly rose above the coin's face value, it was replaced with a new version in 1969. From then on, the Australian 50-cent coin was struck in copper-nickel, which is 75% copper and 25% nickel. By 1981 Australia had already fully adopted the copper-nickel coin for daily use. The 1981 issue was part of this regular series. What makes 1981 especially interesting is the massive mintage ***, and also the fact that this coin is one of the most recognizable in Australia due to its unique dodecagon shape, 12 sides, which makes it stand out from other coins. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This particular effigy of the Queen was used from 1966 to 1984 on Australian coins, showing her wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The reverse side displays the Australian coat of arms, featuring the kangaroo and the emu, two of Australia's most iconic animals, along with the shield, which represents the 6 states of Australia. This design was created by Stuart Devlin, who was known as the goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. His coin designs have become legendary across Australia. The 1981 50-cent coin had a huge mintage, which means millions were struck and released for circulation, making it a very common coin at the time. So, the big question: how much is the 1981 Australian 50-cent coin worth today? In circulated condition, most 1981 50-cent coins are worth only their face value, which is 50 cents in Australia. Because so many were minted, they are not considered rare. However, if you have a coin in excellent condition, what collectors call uncirculated or mint state, the value can rise. In the numismatic market, a circulated 1981 50-cent coin is worth around 50 cents to $1 AUD. A high-grade coin in extremely fine condition might fetch around $2 to $5 AUD. An uncirculated or brilliant uncirculated coin, especially one taken directly from a mint roll or set, can be valued at around $10 to $15 AUD. Now, here's something even more exciting. Some special issues and error coins from 1981 can fetch much more. For example, coins struck with minting errors, like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or double strikes, can be worth $50, $100, or even several $100s, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. Condition plays a huge role in determining the value of your 1981 50-cent coin. These coins show heavy wear, scratches, and a lot of handling. Most 1981 coins fall into this category and are worth little more than face value. Details are still visible, but there's clear wear on the high points. These might get a small premium from casual collectors. Only minor wear is visible, and most details are sharp. These can sell for a few dollars. These coins look fresh from the mint, with no wear and strong luster. Collectors pay much more for these coins, and this is where real value lies. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins in pristine condition, so if you have a 1981 Australian 50-cent coin that has been carefully preserved, it will definitely attract more interest. Beyond value, this coin is also important historically. In 1981, Australia was continuing to strengthen its identity through its symbols. The coat of arms on the coin represents unity among the 6 states and the growth of the nation. The kangaroo and emu were chosen for the national coat of arms because they are native animals that can't easily move backward, symbolizing progress and moving forward. When you hold a 1981 50-cent coin, you're not just holding 50 cents of currency, you're holding a piece of Australian culture, history, and national pride. In summary, the 1981 Australian 50-cent coin is a common yet iconic piece of Australian currency. While most are worth only face value, coins in high-grade condition or those with rare minting errors can be worth much more to collectors. Its rich history, unique 12-sided shape, and national symbolism make it a must-have for anyone interested in world coins. If you've got one of these coins in your drawer or collection, take a closer look. Who knows, you might have a valuable piece hiding in plain sight. To truly understand the 1981 Australian 50-cent coin, we need to take a journey back into the history of Australian currency itself. Australia introduced decimal currency on the 14th of February, 1966, a day famously called Sea Day. Before this, Australia used the pound system, which was based on the British model of pounds, shillings, and pence. The conversion to decimal was a massive national project, replacing centuries-old traditions with a simpler modern system. When decimal currency was first launched, the 50-cent coin was a round coin made of 80% silver, weighing 13.28 grams. But this coin was short-lived, because the value of silver quickly rose in the late 1960s, making the coin worth more for its metal content than its face value. As a result, the round silver 50 cent was withdrawn after only 1 year and never reissued for circulation. But why 1969, the Royal Australian Mint introduced the dodecagonal, 12-sided, 50-cent coin made from copper-nickel alloy. This was a landmark change because the shape made the coin unique, easily distinguishable by touch, and less likely to be confused with smaller denominations. Now, fast forward to 1981. By this time, the dodecagonal 50-cent coin had become a familiar part of everyday Australian life. The 1981 issue continued the tradition, bearing the Arnold Machin portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. This effigy, first adopted in 1966, depicted the young queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most iconic jewelry pieces. The portrait emphasized dignity, elegance, and the Commonwealth connection, reminding Australians of their ties to the British monarchy. On the reverse, the coin features the Australian coat of arms, designed by the world-renowned goldsmith Stuart Devlin. Devlin was celebrated as the designer of coins because his artistry gave Australia some of its most memorable currency designs. The coat of arms showcases the kangaroo and emu, animals chosen for their symbolic meaning. Both creatures cannot easily walk backward, representing progress and forward movement. In the center, the shield depicts the 6 states of Australia, each with its own emblem: New South Wales, the Cross of St. George and a Lion Victoria, the Southern Cross constellation and Crown Queensland, a Maltese Cross and Crown South Australia, the Piping Shrike Western Australia, the Black Swan Tasmania. A red lion passant above the shield sits a 7-pointed Commonwealth star, representing the unity of the states and territories. This design was more than just decorative. It embodied the Australian nation's identity, unity, and independence, while still honoring its Commonwealth roots. The 1981 50-cent coin was minted during a time of strong national pride. Australia had recently celebrated its bicentenary of European settlement preparations leading into the 1980s, and coins were a medium of cultural expression. The Royal Australian Mint in Canberra struck the majority of these coins, but here's an interesting fact. In 1981, due to high demand for coinage, some 50-cent coins were also minted overseas by the Royal Mint in the United Kingdom and the Royal Canadian Mint. This was not common, and it adds an interesting historical layer to the 1981 issue. Collectors today sometimes search for subtle differences between coins minted in Australia, the UK, and Canada. During this period, Australia was also undergoing social and economic changes. The early 1980s were marked by inflation, industrial disputes, and a push toward modernizing Australia's global image. Coins like the 50 cent played a quiet but significant role in everyday life, used in supermarkets, petrol stations, and public transport, reminding Australians daily of their national symbols. Another important part of the 1981 coin's history is its place in the evolution of Australian coinage art. Stuart Devlin's coat of arms design had become a fixture of national pride, while Arnold Machin's portrait of the Queen connected the coin to Commonwealth traditions. It was a balance between Australian independence and Commonwealth heritage, captured in the pocket of every citizen. So, the 1981 Australian 50-cent coin isn't just a piece of metal. It's the result of decades of currency reform, international minting cooperation, and national symbolism. It represents the transition from silver to base metal, from imperial to decimal, and from colonial ties toward a more distinct Australian identity. Now let's talk about one of the most important factors that determines the true value of your 1981 Australian 50-cent coin, and that is condition. Numismatics. Condition is everything. 2 coins of the same year can have vastly different values depending on how well they've been preserved over the decades. Let's break this down in detail, using the grading scale collectors and dealers rely on. But condition isn't the only thing that matters. Collectors also hunt for error coins and special varieties. The 1981 50-cent coin has several known minting errors, where the design is shifted away from the center of the coin, where a section of the coin's edge is missing, looking like a bite was taken out, where the coin was struck more than once, causing doubled images, raised lines caused by cracks in the minting die, Coins with these types of errors can sell for $50, $100, or even more depending on how dramatic and unique the error is. Collectors love these because each one is one of a kind. Another interesting note, some 1981 coins were minted not only in Australia, but also in Canada and the UK to meet high demand. Coins from different mints sometimes show tiny differences in strike quality, making them desirable to variety collectors. If you already own a 1981 50-cent coin and want to keep it in the best condition possible, here are a few tips. Cleaning a coin can scratch it and reduce its value dramatically. Collectors prefer natural toning and surfaces. Store your coins in acid-free cardboard flips, plastic capsules, or albums made specifically for coins. Keep coins away from moisture, extreme heat, or direct sunlight to prevent tarnishing and corrosion. Always hold a coin by its edges, never by its faces, to avoid fingerprints and oils from your skin. By preserving your coin well, you protect its condition and its potential value for the future. So as you can see, the condition of your 1981 Australian 50-cent coin can make the difference between just a pocket change collectible worth 50 cents, or a prized collector's piece worth $10, $20, or even more if it's an error or a certified mint state gem. The grading system tells the story of a coin's life, from heavy circulation and everyday use in the hands of millions, to the rare few that survived untouched, locked away in collections for over 40 years. That's why condition is everything in coin collecting.